Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, I'm not quite sure how to put it, a minor celebration of my 1000th video. I'm not actually technically sure that this is specifically my 1000th video because I think YouTube is referring to videos once they've been processed. But yesterday's live stream, according to YouTube, had 999 videos, and this morning I have 1,000. So, yeah, go figure. Where are we? Well, obviously this is Vintage Story. Obviously, I'm essentially become a Bronze Age farmer, which is fine. It's kind of interesting that I don't really have time in the game to advance much further at this point. I'm too busy farming. But this is not unrealistic, to be honest. What I really need is a sufficient agricultural surplus to allow me to do more things, which right now I don't really have that luxury. Anyway, let's get on with it and see how the chickens are doing. Hope everybody's day is going well. Welcome to a Bronze Age farm, which is slowly expanding. And yep, you can see my first 3 chicks over there, and the hen is happily, hopefully, brooding on another 3. So we should start getting eggs as a regular addition to our diet. What time of day is it? It is 7 o'clock in the morning. We have a long day ahead of us. The berry bushes have started berrying. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Sorry, my bad. But this is a useful add-on to the diet. Which, technically, I'm not sure I have enough berry bushes, because what you really want at this time of year is a constant supply of fruit, I think. But we are making progress. Anything else ready? It appears not. But the berries make for useful snack food. That's my storage containers happily baking away. And as you can see, it's raining. In fact, my storage situation is so dire, I'm having to carry some of it on me. No, wrong one. So what I'm going to be doing here is trying to improve the soil. See how that works. And I should need to start looking at improved clothing because the flax is ripening. And I've got onions. Yes. And that sounds silly, but it's nice to have. little bit of a change to the old diet. Hmm? And I have filled up everything. Well, let's go and put some stuff away so I don't waste what I've got here. I don't need that. Nope. Why is it two? Alright, we'll put the scythe over there. Okay, that should... Yes, there we go. This is all growing, and I've run out of space for carrots. Not carrots, onions, and I already picked up 64 onions. Well, let's go and put down my axe somewhere useful. See if I hope I don't forget it. Where did I... There. Progress. Oh. I think even if I was watching flax. Grew on me. Now I definitely need the extra storage. I still need to see if I can't find hares. I nearly said rabbits. They're hares. Right, so these crops are using nitrogen. These crops are using potassium. Let's see, what have I got that uses potassium? Onions. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to have to start expanding on those use nitrogen, that uses potassium. Let's see, that uses nitrogen, that uses potassium. Wow, we are expanding quite rapidly, more rapidly than I expected, to be honest. And these are... In fact, I'm already having to... I have to start considering expanding this farm. Again, which is not a bad thing with winter. I say winter coming. Obviously, winter isn't anywhere near coming. This is June. But, I do have to wonder some of how this game's developing, and maybe it's just me, strikes me as being really quite realistic. One of my correspondents, T.A. Arden, yesterday was telling me that in fact if you are at full health, and you sit in a chair or lie in a bed, it does reduce your food consumption. And apparently this is something the players doing what they call polar runs, because there is, of course, the polar regions further north. Apparently it's a tactic they use in the game to reduce their energy requirements, which again has a certain reality in certain areas, until comparatively recently. The peasant population did in fact through winter sleep as much as they could. I need another knife. It's kind of funny that I'm... Yeah. Starting to accumulate stuff which is useful to have. And actually I can make poultices, I think. Let's see whether this works. Yep. I did make poultices. Oh yes, I did. Why have I got cow parsley here? It's not like I can do anything useful with cow parsley, is it? Cow parsley. It's not telling me it does anything interesting. I'm almost reluctant to... get rid of it, because it's kind of pretty in a sort of way. We have more berries. I should be able to make fruit pie, shouldn't I? Ooh, fruit pie! Who's up for fruit pie? Definitely up for fruit pie. So, let's see. Yeah, I need... Oops. Didn't realize I had not picked up everything from here. That's not disastrous, but it's not great. Ran across a wolf in the woods over there yesterday, which was interesting and makes me wonder, in that, because I've got chickens over there, does that attract predators, and how far do they come? Because this region, while as my understanding, there are certain blocks that animals will spawn on, I had not seen much in the way of animal spawning last year. I did, oh, and I have maxed out my Good morning, Pseudo. How are you doing? You catch me running out of storage for my agricultural products. I get a suspicion I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time making more space for stuff. I have almost completely run out of room to store stuff. And this is not the best way of doing things. I have literally maxed out available storage I really, really need for extra space. Not too bad. As you may have realized, I have officially got 1,000 videos on the channel. Let's stick my sticks away. I don't need that. Or that. Why did I have those in separate? What else can I put down? I'm not using the shovel. This is getting slightly ludicrous. I'm very tempted to stand over here and tap my foot and say, hurry up and get ready, but I literally don't have any storage left for food. And if I stick it somewhere else, I'm going to forget it. Let's put those away at least. Oh, why am I carrying low fertility soil around with me? Frees up a little bit of space. Oh, I don't need that. I've been carrying those around entirely too long. It is a lot of videos. It's taken me nearly 18 months to get that far. Actually, technically 17 months, I think. I have completely run out of storage space. What can I fix? I don't want to lose anything at this point. This time of year, it does this a lot. Rain, I mean. Certainly did last year. Now, yes, there is something I need to do. Isn't there? Now, I need to start stuff rotting, curiously enough, and I'm not sure of the best way to do it. Can I, for example, if I put 64 of those in there, will they rot? You'll see. Because the compost could be profoundly helpful for this. I need to look up composting. compost. Alright. Mixing in barrel ingredient for soil. Can be placed onto or into the ground. Green dots top left. Oh, sorry. Those are areas where I've taken ore samples and analyzed them. So my mine encompasses a lot of this area under the ground, and these are places where I've taken ore samples to tell me what's down there. So, yeah, that's what those are. And that one. And these are obviously, apparently I found copper over there, copper down here. There were chickens over at this point, and in fact rabbits, hares as well. And there's clay over in that direction, so yeah. Not exactly Bronze Age technology, but who cares? Let's see if we have any eggs. Extra eggs, I should say. She does sometimes put eggs on the ground or in. Now that's her current clutch. Hello, chickens. Yes, last time she actually laid a second clutch. But we appear not to be at that point yet. Ooh, you're running out of food. Let's go feed the chickens. Oh, wait a minute, I could do. Yeah, because I've been giving them flax or spelt. Because traditionally they were not the best. They were not favored exactly. This is why I require an agricultural surplus. Now, apparently, they won't starve to death. So over winter, if I have to stop feeding them, I can. I just won't get any eggs or breeding over winter. Whoa. We have a major thunderstorm going on. And she is immediately back to brooding her chicks. Yes, yeah, you feed them to basically, yes. They won't apparently die otherwise. It's the same with any hares I ever manage to capture. You have to, and I want hares for leather, and meat. So yeah, we're just going to leave those rot and see what happens, and then hopefully I can. Because the only way I can think of for improving the soil quality is to add fertilizer to it. Oh grief. We've already got heat problems. Had this happen last year too. And I don't know if there's anything I can do to stop that. Eesh. That is not good. I wonder if there is a way to stop that. That is a question that will be best answered by one of my regular respondents in the comments. So this is telling me what my current nutrition is, and I think it affects your health points. By default, I'm at 35, which is higher than normal. The default is 10. So I can only assume this sort of means that I'm doing okay. But we can. Apparently we can get fires starting because of lightning strikes, so that is, I think, something that's turned on. Oh, let's see whether our storage has finished. Yes! Yes. Extra storage. And I'm probably going to need more, if truth be told. But yeah, it is kind of funny. I had not really planned on turning into a farmer, and yet here we are. So now I can start stashing stuff away. And I've already started filling that up. Now, I will end up using this. That's red currant. Red currant. Eh. Let's normalize things. Right, let's see if we can actually make fruit pie, because I'm kind of curious. I suspect we must be able to, surely. Who wants fruit pie? Ah, come on. Plastic. Let's see if we can do this. Yes! I have fruit pie. Oh, let's indulge ourselves and make a fruit pie. Where's my axe? Now I need my axe. Yes, unfortunately. I was advised that putting a trapdoor on there helps the situation. Makes the... I can't remember the reason. But this is a basement underneath which enhances your storage capability. So, yeah, it would make sense to do whatever I can to improve that. It's sort of, I don't know, emphasizes the fact that, oh yes, this is a basement and not just a separate room. The ladder effectively, as I understand it, sort of seals everything off. Right, what am I doing? Oh, yes, I am lighting a fire. I don't know whether there are diamonds, but there are emeralds apparently. I don't know what the best ore is. It's going to be a matter of opinion. It's not exactly like Minecraft, but I think the best armor is steel armor. I'm a long way from doing that. I haven't even found iron ore, which apparently is relatively rare. Oh, let's just get this out of the way. Yeah, you shouldn't necessarily judge it in terms of Minecraft. I mean, let's face it, I've always thought the diamond armor mechanic was a bit stupid. I mean, even if you had enough diamonds, they wouldn't make very good armor. But, okay. I can make bronze armor, but I need leather, and making leather's a pain. For whatever reason, they've made making leather in this game quite difficult. I can make rawhide, but full-blown leather takes quite a bit of doing. Things like yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that at some point. And they've skipped some real life mechanics too. You can cure leather in the brains of the animal the leather comes from. You can cure it with eggs. You can actually use egg yolks to cure leather. You can use tannin to cure leather. Here they've got. If you have a look at the leather making, you need a barrel. You need raw hides, lime water or diluted. Get soaked hide, get a scraped hide, seal the scraped hides in a battle of weak tannin, remove the prepare hides and prepare. Yeah, so this is, and I have no idea. Lime water made by creating that. Quick lime is made by grinding stoned. I can actually get scallops. Chalk. Scallops. So these, yeah, this is not entirely realistic, but, well, actually it is. You can get lime from shells. There are shells around, so I will probably have to do that. So, yeah, I would have to do that. So I've got a lot of work to do. Bronze armor is actually fairly effective in reality. Not sure about in the game. Bronze armor survived well into the Iron Age. The Romans used bronze armor, I think, not for their soldiers, for their officers. Or some of them, I think. Yeah, gonna have to check on that. And I seem to remember saying something saying that arguably, at the time, the bronze armor might have been better, because bronze isn't as brittle. It's slightly softer than steel, and for armor that might be preferable. Maybe more shock absorbing, possibly. Bronze was a very effective. We have Bronze Age, we have Bronze Age weapons, because they actually survive arguably better than steel weapons, because they don't corrode in the same way. And those weapons that we have show that they've been in combat. The edges are nicked and dented, the surfaces are scratched up, meaning that somebody was using a sword in a sword type fight. Even though for much of human history swords were paired with a shield, nonetheless there comes a time you actually have to parry with your weapon, and we see indications of that in the historical record, in the archaeological record. So, people were going to war, full-blown war, during the Bronze Age with Bronze Age weapons, and, they were working. So they were not by any means poor weapons, just steel, or iron and steel, turned out to be a bit better. Apparently I can use these for storing meals in, which is going to be useful. But these are only good for... Actually, you know what? Ought to be. I need to make some more storage pots, to be honest. Let's be about that. Let's see. That's for flint. That's for making fire clay. A lot of ancient Greece was built on bronze. See, you could have a perfect, oops. So civilization, could get actually civilization can get a long way using essentially just Stone Age. The Mayans were essentially a Stone Age culture. They did have some metalworking, but they didn't have the wheel, believe it or not. They knew about the wheel, which is kind of funny. They did have children's toys which had little wheels on them, but they themselves did not appear to use the wheel as a method of transport. So you can actually have, civilization doesn't depend on you being in the Stone Age. Sorry, in the Iron Age or anything like modern. What we would think of as vaguely modern. Let's get my storage requirements out of the way. Oops. Now, civilization sort of kind of starts with agriculture. And you can get a long way, I think. I mean, if you were push come to shove, you could probably get a long way. If you had a metal poor planet, for example. Oops. Yeah, you could probably get a very long way without a lot of metal. I mean, if you wanted to build something like sewage systems, you don't have to have metal to do it, I don't think. You could do it in the Stone Age environment. Now, I suppose there would be a limitation to what you could make without iron and steel. But, sailing ships don't require that you be in the stone, in the equivalent of the Iron Age. Good heavens, no. I mean, heck, you can even make cannon. You don't need to be in the Iron Age, technically, to make cannon. You can make cannon out of bronze. And in fact, until the bronze cannon were used right up to what we think of as the Age of Sail. So you could conceivably have had, if you think about it, sailing ships as we think of them, all equipped with bronze cannon. In fact, they used to. And that was in the Iron Age sort of thing. There was a time when bronze cannon were more desirable than iron cannon because they didn't blow up as much. What am I doing? Now, while cannonballs obviously were made from iron, they didn't have to be. I mean, in the early era, cannonballs were made of stone, but I see no reason why you couldn't have had bronze cannonballs. In fact, I see no reason at all. They would have been slightly heavier. Bronze is about 5 to 10% more dense than iron and steel. As a general sort of rough guide. And slightly softer, which would actually be a good thing. Oh, I don't need that. It's daytime already. Hey, Tony. I don't know whether you noticed, Pseudo, but your fur babies have been added to the official fur babies list. Oh, I am a full-time Bronze Age farmer. Apparently. I wonder if it'll allow me to mix. And I don't suppose it will it? Nah, let's not even go that far. And it's raining. And my crops are already being affected by the heat, and my berries are berrying, and I have entirely too much food. I'm running out of storage, which I suppose is a good situation to be in. Come on, hurry up and ignite. And that's the reason I carry a fire starter with me. Why am I carrying a fruit pie on me when I should have put it down on the table? Storage pots. Those are storage pots that are doing things over there. And let's see. My turnips don't like summer very much. It's rather interesting that my condition is officially soaking wet. All right. Hang on. There's onions. Probably ought to hold off on growing turnips until the weather improves, but my little copse is improving, which is nice. It means that I don't need to go so far for firewood. All this is artificial. I replanted. Don't know how long it takes for the chickens to grow. That's a lot of berries I'm getting. So, fresh for 17 days. I need something which will not be fresh for 17 days. Fresh for 28 days. Fresh. Okay. Yeah, I need to see how that works so that I can... Actually, I need quite a lot. This is a bit of a gamble. Because compost gives me... should allow me to sort of bring this back up to scratch. That's what I'm using this for. This is sort of going to be my experimental field for soil improvement, if you like. I should probably build up another one, because I think you can improve poor fertility soil and make it better. I probably ought to consider a little experimental plot of land for that. This is slowly filling in. Actually, if I put a layer of packed earth in down here and then put low fertility soil on top of it, that would be a reasonable experiment. Or I could simply expand this way. Let's have a little look and see what the guide has to say. Oh, I knew what I was going to do. Yeah, I actually do need to pick up shells of all things. There are shells around. Lime. Unless I can find a decent source of chalk, which I have not seen. I need to be looking out for shells. So let's have a wee look around, see what we can find. course, when I start looking for shells, now I can't find any. I used to see them all the time, and now I can't find them. But using shells to make lime is perfectly valid. Although some of the shells you find around here are anachronisms. You don't find some of them. This is, yeah, a conch shell. You don't find conches in freshwater, I can tell you that. And this is most emphatically freshwater. Okay, well, let's see if we can find wabbits. Sorry, hares. Hares. Let's see if we can find hares. It's like I say, the last time. Last time I saw hares was more or less in this region, to be honest. I do want them. Of course, this would be better if I could find chalk. That looks like chalk over there, but it's not. I think it's granite. I'm moderately certain that's granite. Yeah. If it's not, it's very similar. Yeah, granite and slate. If I could find salt, that would be useful too. Oh, yeah, this is kind of amusing. That's actually ice from winter, but because I haven't visited this area, it hasn't had the opportunity to melt. Ooh, what's that? Oh, there's a good way of getting yourself killed. Ooh, what's that? Yeah. Sandstone. Is this sandstone? Because I think you can... Is this sandstone? It is sandstone. Let me just block myself into a corner here and see what it says about leather. Okay, leather. Ingredients. Oh, hang on. Leather making. Lime water. I need lime. Limestone. Limestone. How about that? We have the possibility for making lime, and I need lime for... Get rid of that. I don't know. Not in this particular area, I would hope. This is a temperate climate. And crocodiles and alligators don't necessarily do well in temperate climates. Apparently there are rideable animals in the game. But... Sorry, I say that somebody asked me yesterday if there were animals you can ride in the game. Yeah. Elk. Tamed elk. They don't mention horses, but there are... Yeah. Okay, crocodiles. No, apparently not. This is slightly terrifying. So we are conceivably on the way to potentially starting leather making. I just need more leather. Now, if I can get some rabbits breeding, that would help solve the leather problem. At least in reality it does. Don't know about in the game. I'm assuming, Pseudo, when you say, are there crocs here, you are referring to the animal and not the footwear. Alright, that should keep me going for a bit while I experiment. Alright, let's... That's not limestone. Let's Sandstone. Where's my home? Oh wow, I'm a long way from home. Time to get running. Right. Cross fingers we don't run into anything too toothy. If anybody sees hares, let me know. And that is granite, isn't it? Yes. I don't see any hopping animals around. And I hope I'm right in that I can actually use sandstone for for making lime. I will see. If you can use limestone, I should think you could use... Well, we'll see. It's extremely dark. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's very, very, very dark at night. Right, so, hang on a second. I am going to take a momentary break. I will be back shortly. Right, and I'm back. So no, I have obviously been out at night. I once had to do a run across this whole territory at night when I was returning from dying, and you don't even even with a torch you don't see very far. Without a torch, it's extremely dark. I've no doubt somebody in the comment section is going to say, "Oh no, you should go out at night for these reasons," and they're probably perfectly good reasons. But yeah, you can't see. Yes, they did. Your fur babies are officially on the list. There is a reason human beings don't like the dark. We are not nocturnal creatures. We are diurnal, and we have. Imagine yourself on the savannah or something in darkness, and that's going to be really quite threatening to humans. The whole fear of the dark isn't completely irrational. In this day and age, arguably it is. But there's a reason that you have so many, horror movies occur at night. There's a reason why Pitch Black, the movie, was as effective as it was, because of this fear of the dark. Humans are not adapted to the dark, and it shows up in our psyche. It shows up in, millions of years of evolution. I think most of our ancestors in the primate lineage, a lot of them are diurnal rather than nocturnal. Some aren't, but I think in our lineage they probably are diurnal species. Right, let's see what happens if I grind this. Oops. Apparently I can't. Alright. Hang on a minute. Why can't I add? I can grind that, can't I? Well, that's one way of getting that. I apparently can't grind that. No, I can't. Okay, what do I have to do with sandstone? Oh, very nice. Let's see. Sandstone. Sandstone, sandstone, stone. Ingredient 4. Cobblestone. Okay, I think I may have just wasted my time here. Lime. Let's have a little double check. Lime cooks into marble. Oh, okay. Chalk. Limestone. No, can't do anything with sandstone. I just wasted my time. I should have been looking for limestone, not sandstone. Although, okay. My bad. I don't suppose I can do anything like cook. How much do I need to make lime water? Mixing water and lime. 1 liter of water plus 1 of lime. 2 pieces cook into 1 quick lime. Which means I can... Alright, I just wasted my time. Eh! Complete waste of my blasted time. Silly me. Unless I can do something imaginative like cook it. No, I can't, apparently. You know what? I'm going to try this anyway, just for the fun of it. I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's just for fun. Just in case I'm missing a game mechanic. I am probably going to get corrected in the comments. No, you can't do that. Yes, I know. Hi, Donnie. How you doing? So, we're just trying this. So, to the comment section. Yes, I know I need limestone. I'm just trying this for the sake of argument. Just for fun, see what happens. And I know I'm most likely wasting my time. And yeah, it's not making any difference here. Can't grind it, can't cook it. It's not doing me any purpose at all. So I suppose I'm restricted to making walls out of it. Yeah, I am. Oh well. Sandstone. Yeah, I kind of gathered. Thank you for letting me know, Ozamitu. I was just curious to try it. But apparently you can find... Ooh, that's interesting. Sulfur and... Oh, okay. I actually might need to go back because I also saw borax in there. I made a mistake. I thought when I saw sandstone, I thought limestone. So I've been trying to make lime, so eventually I can get around to making leather. I'm stuck in the Bronze Age for now, but that doesn't stop me from making things like bronze armor. So, and I don't mind being stuck in the Bronze Age. I'm quite happy to be in the Bronze Age. Yeah, no, it's yeah, and I thought, okay, let's just give it a try for the fun of it. And in my mind, limestone and sandstone, I think. Sandstone over time turns into limestone. I think, but I could be wrong about that. I'd have to go and check, to be honest with you. My geology is not very good. And as I was saying, I have one regular correspondent in the comments section of my vintage story streams. He will probably set me straight, but or she. I don't know whether they're a he or a she. But so you know, it's okay, T.A. Arden. I know it didn't work. You don't need to tell me. But if I hadn't tried, I wouldn't have known, would I? Let's have some fruit pie. Let's put some stuff away. Yeah, I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go back to where I found it. Seeing as you are new, I'll give you a quick look around. So here's my Bronze Age farm. This is going to be somewhat experimental. This is sort of my first spring growth. I have a more structured farm that I'm developing up here so I can do a bit more focused crop rotation. These are my chickens. I have just started chicken breeding, and my goodness, they are going through the food like nobody's business. I need to feed them. Oh, I don't know. I mean, one of the things about big farms is agricultural surplus, which I most certainly do need. Let's see, what am I going to feed them? Spelt. Let's give them spelt. Oh, for heaven's sake. Right. I did actually make it through the winter with a lot less than I have here. Okay, this is a mechanic I got from this is a mechanic from Minecraft. If I scare anything out of, yeah, for example, that's trying to escape. If I scare anything into this region, they can't get out because of the second gate. That's why it's there. Yeah, the other thing I'm going to try and do is actually use some of my agricultural surplus to make compost. So this isn't going to go to waste. If I have excess, it's going to become compost. Yeah, no, yeah, so I am bringing Minecraft knowledge into the game. Oh, I had flax, so I've got pelt. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's sorted. I don't have a huge amount of access to fat, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter, I'm going to work with what I've got. The other one is going to be for hares if I can find some. In last year's season, I had hares around. I can't be able to find them so far. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff here that I really ought to clear out. I don't need 2 hay beds. I really don't need hay beds. They can go into the fire. Because I've got a proper bed. So, I can make lime water, apparently. Let's see. Leather making. Rawhide, seal them in lime water. See, I've got a barrel in here. I can do it in here. So, lime and water. Hmm. 2 liters of lime water, into which apparently we'll try this. I have a raw hide. I'll start working on this, see what happens. Ah. Oh, come on. One day I'm gonna fix that. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I actually need 4 liters. Hi. Doesn't want to let me do it anymore. Nope. Apparently not. Ah! Drat! 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 I did not want to do that. Oh, blast! Ha! That's hilarious. Let's put a... flooded the place. Ah. There we go. That's funny. That is kind of funny. I accidentally hit the wrong button and instead of putting the bucket down, emptied it. Yeah. I got a suspicion this isn't going to work at all, but never mind. Look, I'm going to worry about that later. Yeah, but you can see what it's like out here when it's that's at night and it's dark. Yeah, you don't want to be running around in that. even with a torch, which will probably go out. You know, this is about as good as it gets in terms of visibility. Not, although there's that weird effect when the smoke goes across my look. They haven't quite got it right. Yeah, it's profoundly dark outside. Alright, what am I doing? Let's go and have a little look at leather. Again, leather. Mixing in. Oh, hang on. Oh, seal them. How do you... Oh! I need to seal it. How do I seal? I need fat or wax, don't I? Which I don't have. And it's not going to let me... Oops. Let's... Control. Hang on. Shift. Shift plus... Not gonna let me do that. Ah. And I need more lime to do that, don't I? So, okay. That's alright. I can work on that. I'll get some more shells if necessary. That's fine. And if this rots, don't worry about it. It's gonna go and compost. But this is why I need rabbits. Yes. Charming weather. What do I need to do to continue to enhance my survival? Yeah, I need fat or beeswax. And I don't have much access to fat. I need I need pigs. Oh, grief. I need to come up with a way of keeping pigs and catching pigs. Now, fortunately, I did catch an Ethos Lab video where he did come up with a way of keeping pigs that you could feed them from the outside and still collect the piglets. But first of all, I've got to get pigs. I was going to assume that I can somehow trap piglets, because I'd rather trap the piglets than the adults. I don't have cows or anything in this area. I have seen pigs, hares, chickens. I've got raccoons and foxes, but you don't want those. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's always a funny way. Oh, I'm sure you can. Listen, I've done animal wrangling in Minecraft, and yes, I was going to say, I've done animal wrangling in Minecraft, and villager wrangling in Minecraft, and mob wrangling in Minecraft. So I have some experience of the oddities of mob wrangling. You haven't lived until you've decided that you want um, armed and armored zombies so that you can have a system for converting villagers into zombie villagers and back. I've wrangled witches in Minecraft, specifically because I wanted them to throw weakness potions. I've wrangled skeletons. If you go and look at one of my Minecraft base walkthroughs, I've got 16 diamond armored skeletons with oh grief, power bows, power 3 knockback, whatever bows in an arena, all set up with so that I can pop them up and pop them down in this arena. And just to make life really interesting, I've got a name tagged warden in the middle, which you can also pop up and pop down. So I've done a fair degree of mob wrangling. I just need to learn the system. And by the way, capturing and name tagging a warden in Minecraft isn't actually that hard. Nerve-wracking, but not hard. Well, no, that's the whole point. What I had to do was you make noise. The warden spawns in, and while it's spawning, you dash in and name tag it. And then you run away, get it to follow you. But what happens is it goes through a portal onto the nether ceiling. I then went up to the nether ceiling and lured it through another portal, which transported it directly into a water flow system, which then dumped it into this pit, which was 32 blocks deep, and was actually an elevator, so that it would then rise up. And yeah, yeah, and it worked first time. If I tried it again, I'd probably end up dead a lot. But in a way, that's the good thing about wrangling wardens, because they kill you so fast. Just take off all your armor and weapons and put it in a chest. Do the whole chase around thing. And if you die, so what? All your arms and armor and everything else are safe. And so all you do is you carry a name tag and food on you. And yeah, get it to chase you through a portal. Because you can go straight through the portal, and it doesn't. It gets, transported. But while I didn't actually... I set that whole thing up long before I started streaming. But like I say, I did a base tour, and I think I go over that process. It was actually kind of funny having the warden on the nether ceiling, and it's got this stone sort of channel so that it can't go left or right, but it's it did get a bit distracted by Enderman. Hello, Nika Brika, how are you doing? Greetings to Pixel and Phoebe and Nerdist. Not necessarily in that order. It's another day as a itinerant farmer. Whoa, running out of nutrients here. Do I have any... running out of nutrients. We obviously have continental weather because it's 18 degrees centigrade. I haven't played Minecraft in entirely too long, but I don't think there's much of a demand for Minecraft in streaming anymore. Well, there is, just not for somebody trying to get started, so so I'm not known for streaming Minecraft. I'm known for streaming The Long Dark, and now Vintage Story, and Warframe. I do Warframe as well. It's getting positively colourful over there. How's the chicken population doing? Hurry up and grow, little chickens. Good grief, they go through food terribly quickly. You can sort of see why I need a lot of grain. Because they've gone through the food. So in principle, these are all segregated by the nutrients they require. So that I can rotate them more effectively. Except I'm running out of space. So to get proper rotation, I may have to dig out another farm over there. I'm not at the point where I'm still at the vanilla Minecraft stage, where I have not yet considered mods. Now, if I set up for Minecraft, actually I did a video about it fairly recently. I was actually started out the video on my streaming computer, which is an M4 Mac Mini, and I was comparing Sodium with Vulkan performance mods. Vulkan wins on an M4, by the way. It gives you better performance than Sodium. But one of the things I did, in a way, was say, well, here's what I would do with basic Minecraft, and here's what I would add to improve the vanilla experience, which included things like improved terrain generation using half slabs and the ability to sit and crawl. Simple little bits and pieces. I would also add Panda's falling trees if he had updated it, but he hasn't yet. And I don't like the other falling trees mods that I've tried. So yeah, you know, for Minecraft, I got to the point where it's like, yeah, here's how it should be. I have not got to that point with this yet, because I've got less than 100 hours into this game. But it was an interesting little comparison. An M4, an M series Mac, and because normally on something like the computer I'm using here, if you want performance, you go with Sodium. Vulkan works, but it doesn't work as well as Sodium. Sodium is king on my computer, at least, which is an AMD based Linux system. But, and this was what I thought interesting, on the M series Max, Vulkan is the way to go. If you just want performance. If you want shaders and what have you, well, no. But, and I am not up to date with the current releases. What time of day is it? It is still early. Right, let's go and see. Let's grab some food. I've got some bread. Let's just stick this stuff away. Go out. I'm going to go back to the mountain area-ish thing. And I'll... Oh. I am still in the putting things away. I mean, there are mods available for the Long Dark, and I refuse to use them. It doesn't really seem to me appropriate, but you know, I could be wrong. Well, yeah, I probably would be if I eventually. What do I want to stick away? Oh, I want to plant mine. And that's my tool farm, which I got for making thatch, which I ought to use more. And the berry farm is getting well. Right, let's go and see. Hang on, first of all. Yeah. Right, there we go. Let's go and see whether we can find limestone. How long have I been going? Okay, I've got time. These sessions are typically about 2 hours, because in about 2.5 hours I will be doing the Long Dark. The Long Dark I typically do for about 2 hours. Warframe, I have now started getting up into the 3-hour type streams for some reason. And the reason I'm dashing around here is if I run into something, at least I'm at a full run before anything interesting happens. That is not what I'm looking for, is it? That is granite, I'm pretty certain. In fact, I'm so certain I'm not even going to bother. Full disclosure, I have, in principle, set my respawn point back to my bed type area. I cheated to do it. I went into a creative mode, gave myself the appropriate gear and used it. So I decided I didn't really like the idea of having to go all the way back to spawn, which is on an island. This particular world is mostly ocean. I had some silly idea when I started. Shouldn't have bothered. That is... nope. That's granite. And I made my life difficult as a result. That is sandstone again, isn't it? Oh, what's this? That's... oh, no, that's sandstone. Yeah, sandstone gravel. Well, there's a lot of sandstone. I have not been in this area, obviously. Hello, fishies. And that is sandstone. That is peridotite. Slate, sandstone. Just checking the time of day, because I'm not really equipped to stay out at night. Although, oh, hello, what's that? I should have brought some blocks. What is this? That looks interesting. I could only get up to it. Oh, that's marble. I might be able to do something with marble. I think you can cook marble. You can cook this into... Have you not? I happen to know that you can actually make lime out of this. At least according to the... According to the guide, it does use marble as a potential... as an ingredient for lime water, which... marble, which we will color in white. Now, I really don't need this, that, and the other, but I do have a quern. And trust me, getting a quern was a major achievement. I could make bread, but I do have a quern. So all I need now, all I need is everything. It's as with all these things, the moment you start getting resources, then suddenly you need everything else. I suppose I should be thankful they don't do brain curing. They do tannin, don't they? So I think I'm going to do this until my pickaxe breaks. But then we'll go dashing back just in time for me to end the live stream. In fact, you know what? This actually, if I absolutely had to, would be a useful little spot to spend the night. Because unfortunately, I need to think about bringing this to an end. And doing the things I need to do before I do the next live stream. It's not as good as the Warframe music though, but then that really wouldn't be appropriate, would it? Lullaby of the Manifold really wouldn't suit this game. No, actually there's a serious reason I'm not doing it, because I actually have stuff to do before the next live stream, unfortunately. Otherwise I'd be tempted to. But now this time in the morning, I still need... One, I've got to go to the local shop to pick up stuff. Two, I need to take a bath, because I haven't had one yet. So you get the general idea. So I am actually going... I'm actually going to bring this to an end right here. I will... But we have... Look at this, though. We have stuff. So, yeah, as I say, in about 2 hours, I will be back with the Long Dark, of course, as usual, etc. And we will resume this tomorrow. Oh, that turned out relatively well. First thing I got to do when I get back is make some more bread, I suspect. Although, no, I could get away without that. So, thank you everyone for watching. A reminder that I'm now on British summertime, which means my regular streaming hours are an hour earlier, I think, for some people in the world. Maybe an hour, it depends. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm now on British summertime, which means my regular, yeah, I've had. So for me, I start at 5 a.m. at 4 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Not much I can do about that because at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you for the likes. I will see you all next time.